He's from Peerless Reads. A lot of people might hardly be familiar with Andrew's work. His YouTube videos have been extremely well watched in the last couple of weeks, especially. He's a mathematician. He's 6 years in the City of London working in British finance and a lifetime in technology. And we want to welcome you to the UK Column News this afternoon, Andrew.
Hi, it's an honor. And can I say, excellent coverage. And you've already highlighted in your excess mortality the fundamental observation that there is nothing special going on. I got involved solely because I got deeply disturbed by the nonsense that was being spouted in the media, by the news, by the government. And I have to say, and I've warned you and you're aware of this, that I'm about to show you publicly available information that shows that the UK government, Imperial College in particular, just plucked a number out of thin air, exaggerating the real risk of the virus by 150 times. This country would not have shut down for the estimated 3,500 deaths that would be a reasonable estimate. They literally invented a number close to our annual deaths of 550,000 a year, purely scare us. It is an entire fiction. And then it gets worse. As soon as we are safely indoors, they revise the numbers down: 256,000, 20,000, 5,700. Now they take credit, but only if we continue to be good boys and girls. They just sit back and let the virus occur as it was going to occur anyway, and they have made the sun rise in the morning. We will all worship thee, Lord. We have meekly walked into our homes and locked ourselves in on the basis of a terrible lie, far greater than weapons of mass destruction and the 2003 war. It is an atrocious lie, and you're going to see exactly how obvious that is. So, Patrick, head on, first slide, let's have a look.
Yeah, so this is the source and example of your calculations. Just explain us what we're looking at here and how you developed basically how you developed your methodology, Andrew.
Well, it's so simple, it's hardly a methodology. These are the World Health Organization daily situation reports. And as I say, the irony is people say you can't trust China data, you can't trust World Health Organization. In my experience, government data, British government data, American government data, World Health Organization data is excellent. It's what the politicians do with it. They ignore it to tell you their preferred agenda. The data is excellent. So if you bring it back, let's go through it.
Sure.
So what you have here is the 15th of March, which is the last time China reported Hubei or broke down the provinces, because by then the experience was over. From thousands of deaths a day, they were down to a few tens or 100. Hubei experienced 96% of China's deaths. It was the worst hit province, between 50 and 100 times worse than the next four provinces. In other words, in the only country in the world to have completed the virus experience, and in all those provinces that you can see listed, Hubei was the worst province of the only country to have completed the virus. In other words, this was the only worst case in the real world that the scientists could consider. Now, whether you can see the calculations there, but I've done them for you. Basically, 3,000 cases out of 59 million people. It's not even maths. Britain is 66 million. So what is a reasonable estimate for Britain? 60 million, 3,000. 66 at 10%, 3,300. That is the only real-world data point you can use. We'll look at Italy in a second. This is the only completed data point in the entire world. Now, what if you claimed to write a PhD thesis on the Mona Lisa and you refused to look at the Mona Lisa? Do you think that your thesis would be reasonable? It might be a fascinating thesis. It just wouldn't be on the Mona Lisa. The Imperial College scare document, this generation's dodgy dossier, might be a wonderful document. But if you change your figure from 3,000 to 500,000, it's a work of fiction. Did Boris Johnson stand up and say, by the way, I've got a great story, April 1st is coming up soon. Just listen to this one. It's a great, great, great story. Chief Medical Officer, why don't you? No, they said we have a grave crisis, and here are the numbers. 530,000 of you could die if we do nothing. No, 3,000 of us might die if we do nothing, and that's 2 days normal deaths.
Yes.
So basically, they plucked a figure out of nowhere purely to scare us. It is this generation's WMD. But unlike WMD, this time we all walked meekly into our homes and are under house arrest. Now, let's see. That was available to the scientists right then. Now, let's look at the real world in Europe.
Yep.
So, fire it up. So, this chart has a lot of things to show. Firstly, the nonsense about exponential growth. That's the straight line that's flesh-colored going straight up in a diagonal. The virus is not exponential. It's similar to a log normal distribution. Now, the second element is, just like a ball thrown into the air, it rises, it slows down, goes over the top, and it falls. And when you add it up cumulatively, you see this classic curve. And here is a critical point. You look at any of those curves. The green one is Italy. The orange one is Hubei, delayed so that we can see it in the same timescale. The crisis is not over when the last person dies. That's when the contagion is over. The crisis is over the moment you see the line curling over and slowing down. Think about it. If a car is hurtling towards you and it scares the hell out of you because it's going to hit you, when do you feel safe? Do you wait till it's gone past you? The moment you see the car turning away from you, you know you're safe. It's going to miss. The government knew on the 3rd, on the 16th, on the 23rd, when they announced lockdown, they already had these curves. They already knew the crisis was over. If anything, they hurried to get locked down in before it was obvious to everybody that this was going to just ride out with very few deaths. Now look at level that all the, sorry, back Patrick, sorry, you've anticipated me a little.
Sure.
Now look at the level of those dotted lines